Okay guys, this is the solution of your homework. I will start from page 131, number 3. Sebuah bola dilempar vertikal ke atas sehingga mencapai ketinggian H meter dalam waktu T detik dan memenuhi persamaan ini ya. So in this sentence you have the equation of the height. I will write it first. Height equals to 20t minus 5t squared. Find the maximum height that can be reached by the ball ya. Maximum height. When you find the words of maximum and minimum, that means the question wants you to find the stationary point. That means also you have to follow the steps to find stationary point. To find the stationary point, you have to find the h accent, the first differentiation of the h. It will be 20 minus 10t, and also you have to make it 0 because we are going to find the stationary point. Stationary point means the h accent have to be 0. So 20 minus 10t equals to 0. You'll have 10t equals to 20. So you have t equals to 2 seconds. Okay. So after we have the 2 seconds? Oh yeah, t in seconds. Yeah, okay, good. But actually you don't have to put the units in this number. So we already have the t. Now it's time for us to find the h. So we will get the point. Point means x and y. In this questions, the variables is not x and y, but instead it use t and h. Yeah, so you have to know that the x is t and the y is h. To find the h, you only have to substitute the 2. 20 times 2 minus 5 times 2 square. So you'll have h equals to 40 minus 20. You'll have h equals to 20 meters. Okay. Now our point is complete. We already have 2,20 for the stationary point. And because the question only asks you for the ketinggian maximum, and we only have 1 point right here, we can assume that this point will be maximum. It must be maximum point because the question already said that the answer will be maximum point, yeah. Okay, so this one is maximum point, but you have to know that the height is 20. So we can say that the maximum height is 20 meters. And what is this one? This one is the maximum height is 20 meters. It happens when time equals to 2 seconds. Okay, so the answer for this one is 20 meters. The next one is page 131, number 4. Jumlah dua bilangan real adalah 20. Carilah bilangan tersebut agar hasil kalinya maksimum. Okay, so in the lesson, I already told you that when it comes with the maximum, minimum, that means you have to find the equation first. For number 3, the equation is already given, but for number 4, we have to find the equation first. Okay, so hasil kali maksimum. For the hasil kali, I will use a p for the variables, and then I can let the first number as x, and that means the second number will be y. Oh no, you don't use 2 variables in these chapters, yeah. You only have to use 1 variable. Okay, so we will use this sentence. Jumlah dua bilangan real adalah 20. That means x plus y equals to 20, and that also means y equals to 20 minus x. So I can assume that the second number is 20 minus x. Okay, next is the hasil kali, the product. The function of the product will be the multiplication of the first one times the second number. So I will have p equals to 20x minus x squared, and this one is the equation of the product. And then after that, we can find the result of the maximum product using stationary point. To find stationary point, you have to differentiate it first. 20 minus 2x, and then make it 0. 0 equals to 20 minus 2x. So you'll have 2x equals to 20, x equals to 10. And when x equals to 10, that means this one will be 20 minus 10. So the second one will be 10 also. Okay. And the next one is for b. For the b, I will use s as the variables for the y. S will be jumlah kuadrat. Jumlah kuadrat, berarti kuadrat dulu baru jumlah ya. So you have to square it first and then you have to add them together. Kuadrat jumlah means the first number. Duh, tadi dihapus ya. I already erase the ini permisalan ya. So I will write it again. First number is x and the second number is 20 minus x. Okay, so for the second one, jumlah kuadrat minimum, it will be x square, the quadrat of the first one, the square of the first number. Jumlah means add them with the quadrat of the second number. And then you have to simplify it first. So you will have x squared plus 400 minus 40x plus x squared. And from this one you can find the result, negative 40x plus 400. And then you can find the minimum using differentiation. To find the minimum, you have to find the stationary point first. X-axis equals to 4x minus 40. That is the first differentiation. And then you have to make it 0. 0 equals to 4x minus 40. You will have 4x equals to 40, x equals to 10. And because the value of the x equals to 10, that means the second number is also 10. 20 minus 10 equals to 10. Okay, that is the answer for B. Now it's time for us to answer C. Wait. For C, we have hasil kali antara kedua kuadrat bilangan yang satu dan pangkat 3 bilangan yang lain. Kuadrat. But the question didn't give the information of the kuadratnya tuh yang mana ya. We don't know which one is the quadrat. So I will take the X one. For the third one, I will use H. So the function of the H will be kuadrat bilangan yang pertama, x square, and then hasil kali times it. Oh, because it's times, so it doesn't matter. It matters, yeah, it matters. Okay, I don't know lah. But I will take the x as the one that have to be squared. And then pangkat 3 ya. Pangkat 3 means, oh no, I regret to take that one as the square one ya. I should pick the, okay, let's change it. So the square one will be 20 minus x square, and the cube one will be x cube. Okay, let's change the question a little bit ya, to make it easier. Okay, so the h will be this one. I can expand it. So I have 400 minus 40x, and then plus x square, and then times it with x cube. So the h will be x to the power of 5 minus 40x to the power of 4, and then plus 400x to the power of 3. And I hope that the numbers is good enough to calculate. Yeah. So the next thing is h accent, the first differentiation. 5x to the power of 4 negative 160x to the power of 3 plus 1200x to the power of 2. And the next thing is to make it 0. 0 equals to, I can factorize the 5x square, I guess. 5x square in the bracket x square minus 32x, and then plus 240. Then I can factorize it one more time. So I will have x square and x square. Oh no, not x square and x square, x and x, x and x, and then this one is 12, and that one is 20 minus minus. Okay, so from this one I will have x equals to 0, from this one I will have x equals to 12, and for this one I will have x equals to 20. We are not done yet, we have to find the value of y. For this one, not y, the h. Find the value of h, find the value of h, and also find the value of h. Okay, to find the value of h, you have to substitute all of them into the equation. But before I substitute it, I just want to know which one is the maximum and which one is the minimum. Because the questions only ask you for the maximum, that means you don't have to calculate the three of them, right? You only have to calculate the maximum one. So I will check the maximum and minima, maximum and minimum point, yeah, which one is maximum and which one is the minimum. I will use the sketch method, so I will have 0 right here, and then 12, and then 20, and then I will test it for x equals to 1. For x equals to 1, the value of h accent, the first differentiation, will be positive. Yeah, you only have to put it into the 5x to the power of 4 minus 160 times x to the power of 3, yeah, plus 1200 times 1 to the power of 2. So you'll have positive numbers right here. So I can say that 1 is positive, and then this one is negative, negative, and then positive again. Oh no, when it moved to the right, to the left side, when it crossed the 0, please take note that this x0, we have two of them, right? X0 and then another x0, because it comes from x square, and because we have the because we have two zeros right here, that means, wait a minute, I think I erased it. Okay, so the sign will not change, it will be still positive. So if I sketch the curve, it will be increasing and then decreasing and then increasing. That means this one is the maximum. So the maximum point will be 12, nah berarti kan saya cuman perlu nyari yang 12 nya aja kan ya. So it will be 12 square, and actually we don't have to find the h ya, because the question only wants you to find the value of the x, right? The numbers will be 12, this one is 12, and then next one will be 8, 12 and 8 for C. Next one is number 5. Hasil kali dua bilangan real positif adalah 20. That means x times y. Let the first number as x and the second number will be y, yeah, but we have to find the y in terms of x, so I will use this sentence. Hasil kali dua bilangan positif adalah x times y equals to 20. That means I can find the y like this, y equals to 20 over x, so the second number will be 20 over x. Next is find the jumlah minimum kedua bilangan itu ya, the minimum addition of both number. So jumlah, you have to add them, x plus 20 over x. So this is the function. I will call it as m equals to x plus 20 over x. So m will be equal to, if I make the denominator, oh you don't have to ya, actually you don't have to make it into one single expression, just leave it like that, or maybe you can move the x to the top for this one, x to the power of -1, to make it easier later when you want to differentiate it. So the first differentiation will be 1, and then negative 20x to the power of -2, and then after this maybe you want to revert the x to the bottom again. Okay, the next thing you have to do is to make it 0 equals to 1 minus 20 over x squared, and then use your algebra. You will have an expression like this, and then 20 equals to x squared, and then x equals to plus minus square root of 20, and then the value of x will be 2 square root of 5 plus minus, but we can reject the negative one. Why? Because the question already told you that the bilangan will be positive, ya, it cannot be negative. So hitung jumlah minimum kedua bilangan itu. The question wants you to find the jumlah minimum, not the bilangan. Jumlah minimumnya berarti yang ini ya. So you will put it right here. So the answer for the jumlah minimum will be 2 square root of 5 plus 20 over 2 square root of 5. You have to times it with square root of 5 over square root of 5 to rationalize it. So you'll have 2 square root of 5 plus 20 square root of 5 over 2 times 5 is 10. You can cross out like that. So the addition, the maximum addition will be 4 square root of 5. Okay, that is for number 5. Next is number 6. For number 6, the volume of a cylinder is V equals to pi r square h. Find the maximum volume and minimum. Wait, what? Find the maximum and minimum volume. Okay, so we have to find both of them, yeah, maximum, minimum. But still, if you read maximum and minimum, that means you have to find the stationary point. Okay, let's take a look at the function. The function is pi r square times h, and also the r plus h equals to 6. So from this one I will make it into h equal to 6 minus r. Okay, so for the volume we will have pi r square times the h. The h will be 6 minus r. Volume equals to 6 pi r square. You have to multiply them, minus pi r cube, yeah. So that is the V. After that we have to find the first differentiation. V accent equals to 12 pi r minus 3 pi r square, and then make it into 0. 0 equals to we can factorize the 3 pi r, I guess. I will have 4 left for the first expression, and then for the next expression will be r. So from this one I will get r equals to 0, and from this one I will get r equals to 4, and I have to find the maximum volume. And because this one is application question, then I can say that this one will be the minimum, yeah. Why? Because when you substitute it into the volume, you will have 0 as the result, and of course that is the minimum. And for the maximum you will have V equals to pi times 4 square, pi times 4 square times the height. The height will be 6 minus 4, yeah, 6 minus 4. Okay, so the V will be 1632 pi. That is the maximum. So for this one you don't have to check the maximum and minimum using sketch or the second differentiation, because it's obviously minimum for r equals to 0 and obviously maximum for r equals to 4. Okay, the next one is number 8. For number 8 we have biaya total untuk membuat X satuan barang. X satuan barang adalah X satuan, ya, X barang lah ya. X barang adalah harga jual untuk satu satuan. Oh, nggak bisa ya. X gimana sih? X, oh ya, oke. X barang aja ya. So biaya total, biayanya udah total, but the harga jual, the sale price is for 1 unit of barang, ya. Itu katanya segitu. Oke, so first I will find the total sale first. Total sale equals to 50 minus half X. That is for 1 unit, right? But since we have X unit, we have to times it with x. So we will have the total cells. The total cells will be 50x minus half x squared. And then the next one is to find the keuntungan, the function of the keuntungan, profit. Profit will be sell minus buy, or sell minus cost. Yeah, sell minus cost. You can say buy or what lah. P equals to 50. The sell price, the total sales will be, not total sale ya, total sales. Okay, the total sales will be 50x minus half x squared, and then minus it with the cost price. The cost price will be 1 over 4x squared plus 35x plus 25. Okay, let's minus them. First is 50x minus 35x, it will be 15x, and then negative half minus 1 over 4, it will be 3 over 4x squared, and then the last one is negative 25. Okay, let's find the p accent. For the p accent, I will have 15 minus 3 over 2x. Then to find the stationary point, of course you have to make it into 0. 15 minus 3 over 2x. So you have 3 over 2x equals to 15, and then x will be 15 times 2 over 3, it's 10. Okay, but the question wants you to find the keuntungan maksimum, so you have to put it into the profit equation. So you will have 150 minus 125, 75 minus 25, yeah. So the P will be 50. And that is the keuntungan maksimum. One more time, you don't have to check it because we only have one value of the X and one value of the P. That means it's obviously maximum because the question already said so. Okay, the next thing is number 10. For number 10, we have a rectangle inside of the parabola, and one of the two of the vertices of the rectangle touch the curve. Okay, so first I want to take a look at this curve, yeah, these drawings. So I have a point right here, x comma y, but for this number I don't want to use x comma y because I can change the y using the equation of the curve. Yeah, so instead of x comma y, I will use x comma 12 minus x squared because we already know that y equals to 12 minus x squared. So this point will be removed. I will replace it with x comma comma 12 minus x squared. Yeah, it's the same. Why I can do that? Because that point passes through the curve, and the curve says y equals to 12 minus x squared. I hope that you understand that, because that is the key for answering the number 10. And then next is to find the luas maksimum. Yeah, luas maksimum. Okay, so because this coordinates of the point is x comma 12 minus x squared, that means the value of the y is 12 minus x squared. I can say that the height of the rectangle, the width, is 12 minus x squared also. But for the length, this one is x because the coordinate of that one is x. That means this one also x. Yeah, because the rectangle is split into two parts equally. That means if the right side is x, the left side will be x also. From that picture, I can say that the length of the rectangle will be 2x, and the width for the rectangle is 12 minus x squared. And from this one, I can find the area. The area of the rectangle will be length times width. So the A will be 2x times 12 minus x squared. And when I expand them, I will have 24x minus 2x to the power of 3. And then the question wants you to find the luas maximum, the maximum area. That means you have to differentiate it. You will have 24 minus 6x squared and then make it into 0. As usual, you have to find stationary point. If you read maximum minimum, 24 minus 6x squared, you will have 6x squared equals to 24, x squared equals to 4, so x will be plus minus 2. I will reject the 2. I will reject the negative 2, I mean, yeah. Okay, so I will take x equals to 2 because we already know that in length it can be negative. So I will take x equals to 2, and one more time, our answer is only 1. Because it's only 1, we don't have to check whether the answer is maximum or minimum. It's obviously maximum because the question already said so, or else the question will be wrong. Yeah, so luas maximum, we have to find the area. The area will be 24 times 2. 24 times 2 minus 2 times 2 to the power of 3. So it will be 48 minus 16. 48 minus 16 equals to 32. The area, 32 square units, yeah. And the next one is page 138. I want to give you the solution for number 1. For number 1, find the titik belok and also the garis singgung, ya. For number 1, we have to find the y-accent. The y-accent will be 3x squared minus 1. And then after that, I can find the y double accent. So I will have 6x right here. And to find the titik belok, the first thing you have to do is to make the y double accent equals to 0, ya. So you will have x equals to 0. And then from the x equals to 0, you will have the value of the y. Y equals to 0 to the power of 3 minus 0, and the y will be 0. From this one, we have the point. And we don't know yet if the point is inflection or not. So we have to use the next method to determine whether the point is inflection or not. Yeah, to determine the point, we have to find the before and after. So before x equals to 0, I will take x equals to negative 1. And for the after x equals to 0, I will take x equals to 1. And the value for the negative 1 is 6 times negative 1 equals to negative 6. Please remember that you have to find the y double accent value, not the y accent, not the y. So for this one, you have x equals to 1, x times 1 equals to 6. So as you can see, we have a change of sign right here. The sign is changed. Because the sign is changed, that means this one is inflection point. Inflection point. Okay. Next thing is we have to find the equation of the line. So I will use the x. We already have the x equals to 0. And also we can find the gradient from it. 3x squared minus 1. We can substitute the x equals to 0 into the y-accent to find the gradient. You will have y-accent equals to negative 1. And that means the gradient equals to negative 1. And then after that, you can find the y minus y1 equals to m in the bracket x minus x1. I will use the point of the inflection, which is 0, 0, to find the line. X minus 0. So you'll have y equals to negative x. This is the first answer. The next one will be number 3. For number 3, we have this function. We can find the y-accent using the chain rule, using chain rule. Okay, so we have 3 times x minus 7 square times with the differentiation of the inner function. The inner function will be 1, and then plus 1 becomes 0. So you will have y-accent equals to 3 times x minus 7 squared. Okay, so for the y double accent will be the differentiation of the y-accent, and we have to use another chain rule, chain rule. 3 times 2 equals to 6, and then minus 1 the powers, it will become 1, and then times it again with the inside function differentiation. So you'll have y double accent equals to 6x minus 42. Okay, next is to make it into 0. So I can write 0 equals to 6x minus 42, and 42 equals to 6x, so x equals to 7. After that, you can find the y. To find the y, you only have to put it into the y. So you'll have y equals to 7 minus 0, 7 minus 7 equals to 0 plus 1. So you'll have y equals to 1. From this calculation, you already have 7,1 as the point, but we still don't know whether the point is inflection point or not. To check it, like usual, we have to use the before and after method. Before, that means I will take x equals to 6, and for the after, I will take x equals to 8. Yeah, for x equals to 6, I think the value will be, the value of the y double accent will be negative, and for the x equals to 8, the value of y double accent will be positive. There are change of sign, so I can tell that this one is inflection point. Next is to find the gradient. To find the gradient, we will have to substitute the x. When x equals to 7, that means the y-accent will be 3 times 7 minus 7 square. So you'll have y double accent equals to 0, and that means the gradient equals to 0. Using the formula, y minus y1 equals to m in the bracket x minus x1. For this one, it doesn't matter because the gradient is 0. So I will write 0 right there. This one is y minus y1. The y1 is 1. Yeah, so you have y equals to 1 as the equation of the line. The next one is number 5. It's still the same with number 3 or 4. Yeah, and I forget. It's still the same. Yeah, so first you have to find the y-accent using chain rule. Chain rule means 4 times x minus 1 to the power of 3 times again with 1. You don't have to write 1 right there, because it's times 1. Yeah, we don't have to write times 1. It's useless. So the next thing is y double accent. For the y double accent, we will have 12 times x minus 1 square. Okay, next is to make it into 0. 0 equals to 12 times x minus 1 square. And then I will move the 12 to the left side. 0 divided by 12 will be 0. X minus 1 square, and then square move to the left side becomes square root of 0 equals to x minus 1. 0 plus 1 equals to x. So the x will be 1. After that, I can find the value of the y using the equation. Y equals to 1 minus 1 to the power of 4. Y equals to 0. So from this one, you will have 1, 0 as the point. Next is to determine whether the point is inflection or not. We will use the before and after. Before and after method. Yeah. Before, I will take x equals to before 1. Yeah, before 1, 0. For the after, I will take x equals to 2. For the 0, the value of y double accent will be 12 times 0 minus 1 square. It's positive. And for this one, y double accent will be 12 times 2 minus 1 square, and it's also positive. There are no change in the sign of y double accent. That means this one is not inflection point. Not inflection point, and that also means we cannot find the line. Yeah, for this number 5, it's not possible. Next one is number 7. For number 7, like usual, you only have to find the y-accent. It will be 4x cubed minus 48x plus 1, and then you have to find the y double accent also. You will have 12x squared minus 48, and then make it into 0. 0 equals to 12x squared minus 48. So you'll have 12x squared equals to 48, and then x squared equals to 4, and then x equals to plus minus square root of 4, x equals to plus minus 2. So now we have two value of x equals to negative 2 and x equals to 2, we can find the value of the y using substitution. Yeah, for x equals to 2, for x equals to negative 2, the value of the y will be, okay, for negative 2 it will be 16, and then minus 96, and then minus 2 plus 90. Yeah, it will be negative 6, negative 8, 8. For the 2, you'll have 16 minus 98 also, plus 2 plus 90. Negative 6, negative 4, 12. Okay, so we already have 2 points right here, negative 2,8 and also 2,12. Now it's time for us to determine which one, or maybe both, is inflection point. To find it, we can use the before and after. Before and after, yeah. So first I want to check the negative 2,8. For the negative 2,8, I will take x equals to negative 3 for the before, and for the after I will take x equals to negative 1, yeah. Or maybe I can use 0. For the negative 3, the result of the y double accent, let me calculate it for you, it will be negative. And for the 0, the value of y double accent will be negative also. Yeah, so for this one, it's not, wait, for the 3, oh, my mistake. For the 3, it's positive. 9, yeah, it's positive, sorry. There are change of sign in y double accent, so I can tell that this one is inflection point. And the next one, I will choose x equals to 0 for the before, and for the after I can choose x equals to 3. For the 0, we already know that the y double accent is negative. For the 3, the y double accent will be 3, positive. Yeah, positive. There are change of sign right here, so I can say that this one is also inflection point. And that is the bad news, because we have to find both lines. Yeah, 2 lines right here. So I can find the y-accent first when x equals to negative 2 to find the gradient. Y-accent, 4x cubed minus 48x plus 1. Okay. So the y-accent will be negative 8, negative 32, and then for this one is plus 96 and then plus 1. So the y-accent will be 97, wait, I cannot think. 97, it's 5 and 6, yeah, 65, 97, okay. So the y-accent will be 65. It's a large number for gradient. And then I can use the point. The point is negative 2,8 to find the equation of the line. Y minus y1 equals to m in the bracket x minus x1. So I will have y minus 8 equals to 65x plus 130, and then y equals to 65x plus 138. This one is the first equation of the inflection line. Next is x equals to 2. For x equals to 2, the value of y-accent will be 2 times 4 times 2 to the power of 3 minus 48 times 2 and then plus 1. For this one 32, and then for this one 96, and for that one is 1. That means negative 64, yeah, negative 63. 33, yeah. Okay, next is using the point. The point is 2,12. 2,12, we can find the line y minus 12 equals to negative 63 times x minus 2. So you have y equals to negative 63x plus 126 plus 12. So y will be negative negative 63x plus 138. Okay, next is number 9. To find the y-accent, I will change the y first. So I have 1 over 1 plus x squared. I will change it into 1 plus x squared to the power of negative 1, yeah. So I move the bottom part to the top part. And as we know, when we move the bottom part to the top part, the powers will be negative 1. So this is the y, and then after that I can find the y-accent using chain rule. I will have negative 1 times 1 plus x squared to the power of negative 2, and then times it again with the differentiation of the inner function. It will be 2x. And the value of the y-accent equals to negative 2x times 1 plus x squared to the power of negative 2. Okay, next is to find the y double accent. Now, to find the y double accent, I will have to use u times v, or maybe u over v, yeah. We don't have any other options for this one. Negative 2x, I will change it into u over v, 1 plus x squared to the power of 2. Okay, this one is the u, and that one is the v. For the u, I will find the u accent first. It will become negative 2. And for the v accent, I will have 2 times 1 plus x squared to the power of 1. Chain rule, yeah. Don't forget to times it again with the differentiation of the inner function. So the v accent will be 4x times 1 plus x squared. I will leave it like that, and then maybe it's a bad idea to leave it like that, yeah. So we have to calculate it later. That means I have to expand it like this. Okay, next is to find the formula. So the y double accent will be u accent v minus u v accent over v squared. So the u accent will be negative 2 times the v is 1 plus x squared minus u is negative 2x, that means plus 2x, times the v accent. The v accent is 4x plus 4x cubed over the v squared, 1 plus x squared to the power of 4. This one is y double accent, and we have to make it into 0. 0 equals to oh, my mistake here. I shouldn't expand this one. Okay, sorry. I shouldn't expand this one because we have factorization later. So I will leave it like that. For 2x times 4x times 1 plus x squared. So I can factorize this 2 and 1 plus x squared. Okay, so I can factorize 2 in the bracket 1 plus x squared, and then times it again with the expression left in the brackets, negative, and then for that one is 1 plus x squared, and then plus 4x squared, yeah. Okay, over 1 plus x squared to the power of 4. For the bottom part, I will cross multiply with the 0, so the result will become 0. And then for this one, I will multiply it, 2 plus 2x squared, and then for the inside of the brackets, I will have negative 1, negative x squared, plus 4x to the power of 3. For this one, I will have positive 3x squared. Okay. And then we already know that when we have factorization like this, that means we can find the x separately. For the first one, we have 2 plus 2x squared equals to 0. That means 2x squared equals to negative 2, x squared equals to negative 1, x equals to plus minus square root of negative 1. You already know that we cannot calculate this, right? Because it's square root and the inside number is negative. So this is not possible. How about this one? For this one, negative 1 plus 3x squared equals to 0. So you will have 3x squared equals to 1 and x squared equals to 1 over 3. So x will be plus minus square root of 1 over 3. That means x equals to plus minus 1 over square root of 3. And of course, we cannot leave it like that. We have to times it with square root of 3 over square root of 3. So you will have plus minus square root of 3 over 3 for the x. And then next is to find the y. To find the y, you have to use the original function. So this one is the original function. I can substitute the x into the y. So when x equals to square root of 3 over 3, the value of the y will be 1 over 1 plus x squared. Square root of 3 over 3 squared. It will be 3 over 9, 1 over 3. When you simplify it, you will have 1 over 4 over 3, y equals to 3 over 4. And that is the first point. Square root of 3 over 3, comma 3 over 4. The next one, x equals to negative square root of 3 over 3. And I think for this one, the result will be the same. Karena itu x square ya, pasti sama hasilnya, 3 over 4. The second point is negative square root of 3 over 3, comma 3 over 4. Phew, it's a long way just to get the inflection point, yeah. Next is before and after. For this one, before I will take x equals to 0, and for the after I will take x equals to, so that is 1.7 divided by 3 ya, 0. I will take x equals to 1, y double accent and y double accent. Okay, if you calculate for the x equals to 0, the y double accent will become this one ya. Okay, put 0 into this equation, 0. That means negative 2 plus 0 over 1, negative. For the 0, I have negative sign, and for the 1, I will have negative 2 times 4, negative 8, plus 8 times 2, 16 over, yeah, this one is positive ya. So the bottom part will be positive, the top part will be positive also. Positive divided by negative is, positive divided by positive is positive. So this one is positive, and that means this one is inflection point. Although I hope that it's not inflection point, yeah, so I don't have to find the inflection line. Okay, next one is for this one, before x equals to negative 1, and the after is x equals to 0. For x equals to 0, we already know that the y double accent is negative, and for the x equals to negative 1, the value of double accent will be negative 1 ya, negative 1, negative 8, and for this one is the same ya with the previous one. Yeah, it will be the same one, and that means this one also positive. There are change in the sign, so this one also inflection point. Next is to find the y-accent. Y-accent is, let me copy it. Okay, this one is the y-accent. So to find the gradient, I can put the square root of 3 over 3 into the y-accent. Yeah, y-accent equals to negative 2 times square root of 3 over 3 over, we already have the answer for this one. It's 4 over 3 ya, 4 over 3 squared. 4 over 3 squared. Wait, let me 1 over 3 4. Yeah, betul, squared. 16 over 9. That means I can cross out this one, and then I can cross out this one also. I will have y-accent equals to negative 3 square root of 3 over 8. I hope that I don't make any mistake for this calculation, but if I did, please tell me ya. So the gradient will be negative 3 over square root of 3 over 8, and that's also mean y minus y1 is 3 over 4 equals to the gradient negative 3 square root of 3 over 8 times with the x minus x1 square root of 3 over 3. And the value of the y will be negative 3 square root of 3x over 8. So this one is positive 3 over 8. And then move the 3 over 4 plus 6 over 8, 9 over 8 ya. Okay, that is the first equation of line. Oh my god, so long. I don't think I want to do this. Yeah, let's skip it. It's a bad number, guys. I will stop right here and I will copy the answer. Okay, good. Okay, the last one is number 11. For number 11, I think it's hard to do, but let's try. For y equals to e to the power of x times x, you cannot. Oh, actually you can, yeah. You can use u times v. Yeah. Okay, let's do that. Y accent equals to u times v. That means u accent v plus u v accent. Yeah. For the u accent, it will be this one is u, this one is v. U accent equals to 1 and the v accent will be e to the power of x. Okay, so the y accent will be u accent is 1 and then the v is e to the power of x plus the u is x times the v accent. The v accent is e to the power of x. Okay, at this moment I want you to take notes that the differentiation of e to the power of x times x is this one, because we will need it later for the y double accent. Okay, so the y double accent will be the differentiation of this one, e to the power of x differentiated into e to the power of x. It's the same, but for this one, x times e to the power of x is the y, right? The y is differentiated to this one, so that means this one also differentiated into e to the power of x plus x times e to the power of x. Okay, so the y double accent will be 2e to the power of x plus x times e to the power of x. And then the next thing you have to do is to make it 0. 0 equals to, I will factorize the e to the power of x. So I will have x plus 2. So after this, I have e to the power of x equals to 0. And for this one, x equals to negative 2 ya. I don't think we can do for the first one because e to the power of something will become a number, not 0. Okay, so this one is not possible. I will take x equals to negative 2 and the value of y for x equals to negative 2 is negative 2 x times e to the power of x. Yeah, so the y will be negative 2 times e to the power of negative 2. I can move the e to the bottom part. It will be 2 over e squared, and that is our point, negative 2 comma negative 2 over e squared. Okay, next is to determine whether this one is inflection point or not. Yeah, so I will take the before and also the after value of x. X equals to negative 3. I will take x equals to 0 for the after part. Negative 3 y double accent. Y double accent equals to 2e to the power of x plus x times e to the power of x. Okay, I think we have to use a calculator for this one. Or we don't have to, just leave the e to the power of x like that. Yeah, so 2e to the power of x plus negative 3 times e to the power of x. Let's say the expression is like this, so we will have negative e to the power of x, and we already know that e to the power of something will become positive numbers. positive numbers times negative will be negative. For the second part, for the after, I will have 2 times e to the power of 0, which is 1, and then plus 0 times anything becomes 0, so the result will be positive. There are changes in the sign of y double accent, so this one is inflection point. Next thing is to find the gradient. Y accent equals to e to the power of x plus x times e to the power of x. Okay, so when x equals to negative 2, the value of the y accent will be e to the power of negative 2 plus negative 2 times e to the power of negative 2. The y accent will be negative 1 times e to the power of negative 2. I do the addition first, and then after that I can rewrite it like this. Okay, we already have the gradient. The gradient is negative 1 over e squared. Next is to find the line. Y minus y1 equals to the gradient of x minus x1. The point is negative 2 over e squared from this one, yeah, and then equals to negative 1 over e squared times x minus x1 plus 2. Y plus 2 over e squared equals to negative 1 over e squared x minus 2 over e squared. And when you move this one to the right side, you will have y equals to negative 1 over e squared x minus 4 over e squared. There we go. That is the equation of the line. And the next one is page 144, number 9. Gambarkan sketsa ya. So you have to sketch the function. First you have to find the y-intercept. The first step is y-intercept. To find the y-intercept, you have to substitute the x equals to 0 into the equation. So you have 0 minus 0 minus 0 plus 5. Yeah? So you will have 0, 5 as the y-intercept. Next is number 2. Wait, let me change the color. Okay, and then number 2, x-intercept. For the x-intercept, you will have to make the y equals to 0. So 0 equals to 2x to the power of 3 minus 3x squared minus 12x plus 5. And then after this, you have to factorize it. Yeah, to factorize it, you have to guess and check whether which value of x that makes the equation become 0. So I will check for 2 maybe. Okay, unfortunately we don't have the value of x for the guess and check. I try to use a calculator to find the roots, but the calculator says it's not a real number, it's an imaginary number, so I don't think we have the x-intercept, so there are no x-intercept. We'll prove it later in our sketch, yeah. So for number 3, I have to find the stationary point. Stationary point, that means y equals to 2x to the power of 3 minus 3x squared minus 12x plus 5. We have to differentiate it into y-axis equals to 6x squared minus 6x minus 12, and then make it into 0. And then divide it by 6 to make it simpler. Okay, and then factorize. 0 equals to x minus 2 and then x plus 1. So you have x equals to 2 and also x equals to negative 1 as the abscissa. Next is the y. For the value of the y, I will substitute the x into the y. I will have negative 15 for this one, and for the negative 1 it's 12. Okay, so we already have the point, which is 2, negative 15 and also negative 1, 12. The next one is determine the nature for the stationary point. The nature, I will use the sketch. To sketch, you have to prepare the number line, and then I will put the negative 1 and also 2, and then I will test for x equals to 0 into the y-axis. The y-axis is x squared minus 6x squared minus 6x minus 12. So the result will be negative 12. We only need the negative. So 0 is right here. The area will be negative. And for this one, it will be positive. And this one also positive. So the curve will be increasing, decreasing, increasing. So this one is the maximum. And that one is the minimum. Okay, I will label it first. This one is the minimum. And that one is the maximum. Okay. So we already have the stationary point. Next is to find the inflection point. Inflection point. To find the inflection point, you have to use the y double accent. So we already have y accent equals to 6x squared minus 6x minus 12. That means the y double accent will be 12x minus 6 and make it into 0. 0 equals to 12x minus 6. You will have x equals to 6 over 12. So the value of x will be half. And also I want to find the value of the y. Substitute the x to the y. When you substitute it, you will have negative 1.5. Yeah. So at this moment you already have 0.5, negative 1.5 as a point. We don't know yet if it is inflection or not. We have to check it using before and after. Yeah. Before, I will take x equals to 0, and for the after, I will take x equals to 1. For x equals to 0, the value of y double accent will be 0 minus 6. So it's negative 6. For the y equals to 1, the value of the y double accent will be 12 minus 6 equals to 6. This one is negative and that one is positive. There are change of sign of the y double accent. That means this one is the inflection point. Okay, after we got the inflection point, we are ready to draw, to sketch. To sketch, you have to prepare the y and also the x, like this, y-axis, x-axis, and put all of the point that we already got. 0.0,5 is right here. Oh, no, we need 12, yeah. Let's say this one is 5. Wait. Okay, this one is 5, and that one is 12. And then we have 2, negative 15. Negative 15 is right here. And then, okay, udah ya. Negative 1.5-nya misalnya di sini. Okay, for the first one, it's 0.5, 0,5 for the y-intercept. And then there are no x-intercept. Next is 2, negative 15. 2, negative 15 is right there. And then negative 1,12. Negative 1,12. And then 0.5, is right here. Oh, I guess we will have x-intercept, yeah. I don't know if I did a mistake in the x-intercept, but there are x-intercept, I think. Okay, let's do this. For the first sketch, I will start from 2, negative 15. It's minimum point. So this one is minimum point. That means the curve will be like this and also like this. Okay, and then after that the 0.5, negative 1.5 is the inflection point. That means the concavity will change ya. Pertamanya opens up, sekarang jadi opens down, and then I will go through the 0,5 until I have negative 1,12. It's the maximum point, so it will be turned back like this. Okay, as you can see, we also have x-intercept, yeah. I will check it later for the calculation, but we should have the x-intercept. Okay, so this is the sketch for number 9. Oh yeah, for the number 2, for the step 2, I wrong press a number in my calculator, so there are x-intercept, but the number is not so good, so I think we can skip this part, yeah, because the factorization is not working, and also we cannot use the quadratic formula since it's not quadratic equations, yeah, so we cannot find the x-intercept without using calculator. Let's skip that, and this one is the sketch for number 9. And the next one is 15, the last one. For this number, I will try to find the y-intercept first. Y-intercept equals x equals to 0. That means y equals to 0 minus 0 plus 0. It will be 0, 0 as the y-intercept. And then for the x-intercept, number 2, for the x-intercept, it will be y equals to 0. Y equals to 0 means 0 equals to x to the power of 4 minus 6x to the square plus 5x. And then you have to factorize the x cubed minus 6x plus 5. And then I think we can factorize the x cubed using Horner, yeah. So for x equals to 1, the value of x to the power of 3 will be 1 minus 6 plus 5, and it's 0. So we have to Horner it. 1 for the x to the power of 3. For the x to the power of 2, we have 0. X to the power of 1 is negative 6. Independent of x is 5. and then we have to honor it with 1, yeah, because we already test it before. When the x equals to 1, the value is 0. 1, 1, 1, 1, -5, and then -5, and then 0. And then the complete factorization will be x in the bracket x minus 1 from this one. And then for the result, it will be x squared plus x minus 5. And for this one, you can use quadratic formula to find the value of the x, yeah. Okay, so from this one you will have x equals to 0. From this one you will have x equals to 1. From the last one you will have negative 2.8 and also 1.8. So for the second step we will have 0, 0, 1, 0, to negative 2.8, 0, and also 1.8, 0 as the x-intercept. Next is number 3. For number 3, we have to find the stationary point. Stationary. That means we have to find the y-accent, yeah. Y-accent equals to 4x to the power of 3 negative 12x plus 5. And then we have to make it into 0. 0 equals to 4x to the power of 3 minus 12x plus 5. Okay, the number is not so good, so I use my calculator to find the value of the x. The value of the x is 1.5, x equals to 0.5, and also x equals to negative 2. Okay, so for this one, we will have the value of the y, and this one also, and also this one. Yeah, I will calculate it first. Okay, so this is the solution for y, and then from the third step, we will have 1.5, negative 0.9, and then 0.5, 1.1, and the last one is negative 2, negative 18. Next is to find the maximum and minimum. So I will draw a number line and then negative 2 right there, 0.5 is right here, and 1.5. As usual, we have to test. We have to test for x equals to 0. I will put it into the y-accent. The y-accent will be 5, yeah, positive 5, positive. So this one is 0. Positive. The area of the 0 will be positive, and then move to the other area, it will become negative. This one also negative, and that one also positive. Ya, ingat selang-seling. Oke, jadi ini decreasing, increasing, decreasing, increasing. So the negative 2 will be minimum. This one is minimum. 0.5 will be maximum, and the other one is minimum. And the last one is the inflection point. For number 4, we have to find the inflection point. Inflection. To find the inflection, you have to find the y double accent. It will be 12x squared minus 12. And then make it into 0. 0 equals to 12 in the bracket x squared minus 1. 0 equals to 12 in the bracket x plus 1. And then x minus 1. So from this one, I will have x equals to negative 1 and also x equals to 1. And then after that, we have to determine the change of the sign. Oh, not yet. Yeah, we have to find the value of y first. Value of y first. Okay, negative 1. Yeah, for the inflection point, you will have negative 1, negative 10, and 1, 0. Yeah, but we don't know yet if this one is inflection point or not. Okay, next one is before and after. For the before, I will take x equals to negative 2. For the after, I will take x equals to 0. And then I will put it into the y double accent. For the negative 2, it will be positive. And for the 0, it will be negative. So this one is inflection point. And how about the other one? For this one, I will take x equals to 0 as the before. And for the after, I will take x equals to 2. So for this one, I will have negative sign. For that one, I will have positive sign. Okay, there are changes. So this one also inflection point. Because all of the data is already there, we can sketch the graph, directly. So I have 0, 0 for the first one, and then 1, 0, negative 2, 8, 1, 2, 3, negative 2, 8, 0, 1.8, 0, 1.8. This one is negative 2.8, yeah. And also the inflection point. The inflection point is negative 1, negative 10. And then 1, 0. Okay, this one is inflection point. Inflection point. Oh, the stationary point is not there yet, yeah. So we have 1.5, 1.5, negative 0.9, 0.5, 1.1, negative 2, negative 18. Negative 18. Okay, this one is negative 10 and this one is negative 18. Yeah, so we are ready to sketch, but first I want to label the minimum and maximum. So this one is the maximum, this one is the minimum, and also this one is minimum. Okay, we will start from the maximum first, yeah. From the maximum, you will have a curve like this, and then after it passes through the infinity point, the concavity will change like this, and then because this one is minimum, it will turn back to the top like that. Okay, and then for this one, we will continue to the left. After it passes through the inflection point, the concavity will change, and then go straight to 2.8. Yeah, so this is the sketch for number 15.